Hello? Is this thing on? Are we here? We made it. It's college baseball. We did it, everybody. Hello. I'm Jake Hasan, and this very much poor lighting that is adjusting itself on its own. Hey, that's just kind of the things that happen when you live in the fifth floor of an apartment building and the sun is kind of going down and it's right there blasting through that window. So listen, I'm figuring it out. Okay, these are just things that happens. Nobody has texted me that something has gone horribly wrong yet. So I guess that means things are working as it should. If you're new here, I'm Jake Hasan at the Jake Hasan on Twitter, at Hasan_Jake on Instagram. You may know me from the now defunct, read as deceased BetMGM network, or the now defunct, also known as deceased, early. Muted myself because thumb slipped right there. So I'm going to flip this. So in case that green button turns red again, I'll know I'm muted. We're betting UCSB plus 140 full game, plus 115 first five money line because Jackson Flora, their starting pitcher for the Gauchos, UCSB as it were. He's awesome. He's one of, if not the most talented arms in this class. And I don't think Southern Miss has the offense to keep up with him. Now, your counter to that be, well, why is UCSB this maybe offensive powerhouse? They're not. They aren't. But the thing is, they have some guys who I think are very, very on the cusp, let's say. They're very up and coming. And that starts with their leadoff man, Rowan Kelly. He plays center field. He was a freshman last year and was an all freshman team. As a sophomore, theoretically, only gets better. The wonderful Nick Ashu, whatever. I've never gotten that right. My bad. Made a steak last night. It looked great, I think, because he didn't send me a picture because he hates me and we're not friends, apparently. But the beard looks lovely. Thank you. I'm not going to say that I trimmed the beard just for this. I would be lying because I absolutely did. I mean, I'm also going out with my friends tonight. So my point being, listen, we'll see how this goes. Maybe we'll go till just the sun goes down because I have very poor lighting in this apartment. And that would require me to go get a lamp from the other room. And God forbid I do that. But we'll probably go until Flora exits the game, until UCSB goes to the pen. If you want to try and jam some bets in, again, we're betting UCSB full game money line, and we are betting them on the first five money line. And if you want to get real crazy, UCSB to make Omaha is 18-1. That is a bet that I put in. That is a bet I gave out on my Substack, by the way, hassanshacks.substack.com. You should go subscribe. Would be great for me. We just hit 100 subscribers. That was pretty awesome. I didn't think that many people cared about the stupid things that I say, but there's already 10 of you here, and that's even more than I thought. But guess what? We have a fabulous guest coming up as well. In about 15 minutes, the one, the only, the handsome, the man who once called Sydney Sweeney a number 3 seed alike to Creighton in the NCAA tournament. PJ Glasser will join the program. Now you might be saying, well, PJ Glasser, it's not really a college baseball guy. He's not, but I like PJ and this is my show. And I'm the one that calls the shots here until they tell me to stop. And also until somebody knocks on that door, because these walls aren't super thick. And I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off at some point. That's just the name of the game, baby. I don't know when we're going to open our first beverage. We got a couple. First beer of the weekend is imminent, probably. Maybe we'll go after PJ leaves because I don't want to make him uncomfortable. He's just a lad. His virgin ears can't handle the opening of a beer can on a Friday night. God forbid that happen. And as you can tell, I'm vamping because the game itself has not started yet. But once they get on field, which obviously gives you the opportunity to jam those bets in and tail on UCSB on the first 5 or the full game money line. That's up to you. Hey, while we're doing that, or for them to make Omaha 18-1, by the way, that's a nice little ticket. I'm just saying. But hey, while we're waiting for this game to start, if you wanted to tell your friends to tune into Game Day Garage on YouTube, on Twitch, if you just wanted to tell them, hey, come hang out and watch this idiot slowly lose his mind, that's up to you. I would appreciate it. I would like to see this do well. I would like to do it again, probably. It's Friday. Let's have a good time. Maybe we're not here for a long time, but while we are here, let's make it rock. Other things that we're going to do, because we're not just going to talk about this singular game. That would be insane. But college baseball opening day today, we already had one upset. Houston beat Wake Forest at 8 a.m. this morning, Central Time, in Puerto Rico. And there were a couple other teams. Louisville was on the ropes against Michigan State. That game has gone final. Michigan State has upset Louisville in Louisville. And are they the Cardinals? Yeah, right. Louisville Cardinals, Redbirds, whatever. They're the number 8 team in the nation. And this does hurt my soul because we do have a 5-1 ticket on them to make Omaha as well. Granted, it's one game. It's one game. Everybody relax. But this was also the problem that I had with Louisville. This was maybe one of their issues was the pitching isn't even good enough to take down a team like Michigan State, who is rebuilding their program and has been in the dregs of the Big Ten. Granted, it's not a great conference for baseball overall, but the dregs of the Big Ten for the last couple of years. That's my concern with Louisville. Listen, they could still win the series. It'll be fine. Elsewhere, LSU, the second-ranked team in the country, losing 5-2, also at home to Milwaukee. Not the Brewers, the University of Milwaukee. Bad. Not good. Kentucky's already up 11-0 on UNC Greensboro. Georgia Tech's winning 2-1 over Bowling Green. Cool. Great. I don't understand it. And UCSB, leadoff double. Let's go. This is exactly the start that we want because, as I was saying, Rowan Kelly could be a dog, leadoff double. And if him and the other guys at the top of this lineup, and I'm very interested to see the spot that their second baseman comes up in. Well, I guess he moved to shortstop this year, but Jonathan Mendez, who also had a very good year last year, he's hitting 5th. I would very much like for him to come up in the spot with runners on base. That'd be huge. I think this UCSB offense is going to be better than people are thinking. I think they're going to have the pitching staff anyway. They almost always do. Because when you talk about the Big West, like it's either UCSB or UC Irvine are the two teams that people generally talk about to come out of the conference. And they both have their pitfalls. UCSB is generally built on pitching and run prevention, whereas Irvine is just, they're going to beat the hell out of you. And it's just going to be, hey, here's 12 runs on your face. Try to keep up. But I think the Gauchos this year could have the offense that will go really well with their pitching staff. Again, headlined by Jackson Flora, who obviously is not on the mound yet because UCSB, away team, they are hitting first. Welcome to baseball. That's Baseball 101 with Jake Hasan. It's the same as the majors. It's a lot of fun. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. We'll keep you updated on the other games. Vandy and TCU kept getting pushed back. First pitch for that game, I don't know what the deal was, but they have started. Top of the second, TCU up 1-0 on Vanderbilt. Oh, by the way, why you should be subscribing to the Substack or following me on Twitter at the Jake Hasan, gave out TCU as an underdog, a pretty decent underdog against Vandy as well, just because TCU, I'm generally against, and I talked about this in a spaces with the wonderfully insane Colby Marcio a couple weeks ago, and somebody asked about TCU to win the title. I generally don't like taking stabs on West Coast teams to win the title. And I know Texas, you could argue, are they truly West Coast? But the semantics, get out of my face. But My point being, I generally want to stick with a team like an SEC team like Texas, hint, hint, wink, wink, or Florida, hint, hint, wink, wink, or LSU last year. The SEC has won most of the last handful of College World Series championships. So I generally want to go with one of those SEC teams. A lot of people like Arkansas this year. So when it comes to those teams that don't have to go against other gauntlet teams, like TCU will be coming from the Big 12, not a whole lot of competition there otherwise. So I like TCU in general, which is why I bet them today against Vanderbilt as a dog, especially. That was just mispriced. We had a classic WTF, wrong team favored. That was part of the calculus there. I think TCU can make it to Omaha, but I'd rather just bet them on a game-to-game basis if they're going to be underdogs to teams like Vandy, and maybe if they play against other SEC teams, if they play in Oregon State. I would just rather make the money that way. Sure, it's a nice price, 50-1. Eyes pop out of your head like a Looney Tune when you see it, but it's not something that you have to super jump in on just because of the price. I'd rather bet TCU on a game-to-game basis overall. I think the favorites parlay is still alive as far as I could tell, because West Virginia, this is why college baseball is the best, because it's so insane. Speaking of the favorites parlay, which was also on Hasan's hacks.substack.com, nice little plus 240 4-leg parlay. Why college baseball is so insane and fun. West Virginia was part of our favorites money line parlay for opening day. West Virginia plays in a little bit here. They were stuck in an elevator today. Go look it up. The entire baseball team was stuck. Excuse me, I'm going to cough real fast. Excuse me. The entire team was stuck in the elevator at the hotel today. What? I mean, granted, they're probably staying at like a Motel 6 or something. I guess motels wouldn't have a elevator, would it? You know what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, it's not awesome, but that's hilarious. West Virginia is a minus 250 favorite, stuck in an elevator. How do we bake that into the price? I don't know. They're probably still going to win by a lot, hopefully, because that'd be good for the parlay. But that's just why college baseball is the best. Update on this game that, we're supposed to be watching. UCSB now has runners first and second, no outs. And, we're going to get a run. Send him. Cowards. All right. Well, we're going to have bases loaded. One of the most frustrating things, I love you so bad, college baseball, but the camera work is almost as bad as the shading on this camera. I'm considering closing the blinds. Yeah, whatever. It seems like a lot of work. But anyway, it's not that much work. It's just not far. It's how big is this apartment? It's like 10 feet away. No, that can't be right. How many me's would it take laying down to get over there? 2.5. So that's like, I don't know, 15 feet away. 6'2", by the way, for, anybody listening. Even though it's all probably people who know me and are married or in relationships, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe we could get into some of my dating stories later on in the stream if we really want to. But anyway, bases loaded, no outs, top of the first. UCSB, who we have plus 140 for the full game and plus 115 for the first 5, is threatening here. And I would love a crooked number to start the game, because nope. There's nothing better than having a first 5 money line or just a regular money line, and you get out to an early lead, especially knowing who we have on the mound for the Gauchos. So this could go very, very well for us, and that would be really great. I've teased what else we're going to talk about in this show. Oh, wow. See, camera work, routine fly ball. Thought that was gone, but jitters. However, that routine fly ball is a sac fly. UCSB up 1-0 to start the game. 1 out, first and second. This is a good. Hey, Rob Brown just texted me. I'm gonna read this verbatim. If you want some Rob Brown time, I could pop on for a few minutes around 6. If it's too late, I totally get it. Da-da-da-da. Hey, listen, man. Rob, I'm assuming you're looking at this or watching this right now. Just let me know if you mean 6 Eastern or 6 Central. I assume you mean Eastern because you're on Eastern time. But hey, if you mean 6 Eastern, which would be 5 Central in about 45 minutes, we have PJ coming on in like 5 minutes. Robert, if you would like to come on right after PJ, I would be happy to send you a link right now because I know you are also watching these college baseball games and you also have some thoughts. So text me again. That'd be great. Or just tell Kate or Nick to send you a link. That works too. I don't know. Otherwise, I guess I can do it. Probably not like there's a lot going on because there's going to be commercials and stuff. And we'll go from there. But I keep teasing what we're going to talk about, but maybe we'll talk to Rob Brown. That might be coming up. PJ Glasser in like 5 minutes or so. We will also talk some college baseball futures. We have some golden spikes that, speaking of which, just joined the chat. Me and my guy Crutch Bets, we're talking some golden spike stuff. And we both like a couple guys at triple digits and we think are way mispriced. You should also follow our guy Crutch on Twitter, and he also has a Substack, and he's very, very smart. So if you want to win more college baseball, also follow him. You could also follow me at DJ Hasan on Twitter and Hasan_Jake on Instagram. Don't get picked off, you doofus. College sports. Gotta love it. Gotta love how these teenagers don't know fundamentals. Just, I mean, a mile away from second base. It wasn't even that good of a move. And you just get thrown out on the bases like an idiot. Well, that's not what you want. Especially when your 5-hitter is at the plate. That was really deflating. I was feeling good too. Super unlucky. Yeah, Crutch. Yeah, you were on Louisville. I saw that. That was not great. But as me and you had discussed previously, that was our concern. They're pitching. If it makes you feel better, I touched the stove with Texas Tech because they were dogs to Oklahoma, and after their big transfer portal, where everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to work. Look at what happened with the football program." I literally wrote that in my Substack article from last night, so let's not talk about that. But my point being, I also lost and run. What are you doing? All right, we get one run. We get one run from UCSB, 1-0 to start the game. And honestly, we might only need one. The way that Jackson Flora throws the damn ball, we might only need one run here, at least for the first 5, which was plus money. And even when we lose the full game, which we won't. We're going to win all of our bets today. Had a burp there, my bad. But we're going to win all of our games. But Flora is so good where he just might go the distance and take us home. 1-0 win. How about it? Just take it that way. Robert Brown has not texted me back yet. Sure. That's a good point, Nick. Thank you for that. And Sam Paniatovich just texted me back after I texted him like 45 minutes ago. Very rude. If you can't tell why I'm talking about other stuff, it's because it's commercial right now. That's the thing. Can't wait to watch the same 4 commercials on ESPN Plus all year. It's going to be really, really awesome. It's going to be really, really fun. But I mean, that's the era of streaming. And I'm going to stop being old man yells at cloud now, talking about commercials when we all are on our phones during it anyway. I'm going to collaborate on this reel right now from the GameDay Garage Instagram account, which you should be following anyway, because not only will I be there, but the lovely Nick Ashu will be there as well. PJ Glasser, we're going to talk to in just a second because he's in the waiting room and I'm being an idiot and talking for way too long. And I didn't see him join. My bad, PJ. Okay, that'll be there. And now, buddy. Oh, what a time this is about to be. The Glass Man, PJ Glasser, my friend. It's so good to see you.
Jake, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see Arkansas State and Stony Brook playing baseball again in front of our.
Is that what you're locked in right now? Arkansas State, Stony Brook? That's what we're rocking with?
Absolutely. That's what we're rocking with. Well, you gave me who are we rooting for? UCSB, right?
Yes.
That's the squad first 5. Okay, so I had to put together a little parlay. So I rolled with them, and then I rolled with Stony Brook, and that's not working out great. And then I think I bet another team later on in the day. But Jake, I'm going through. I want your thoughts on this, right? Because college basketball and college football, I feel like the preseason top 25 rankings, like for the most part, they're pretty good. But every year you get some teams that are total duds. Like in football this year, Penn State and Clemson turned out to suck when all of us thought they'd be pretty good. Is baseball like pretty good about the preseason rankings? Like, do you feel like most years the teams they feel like are going to be good are pretty good? Or do you feel like they miss about on like 7, 8, 10 teams every year that they think are going to be good that are not?
I don't think they miss necessarily, Peach. I think it's just like, because you know how baseball is. Baseball's so volatile as a sport anyway. It always just feels so fluid. I always feel like the bottom of the rankings are where like things get wacky because, like, for example, like if depending on what rankings you're looking at, Florida is like a number 13 team. I kind of think that they have the talent to be a top 5 team. Will it happen? Who knows? Our guy Crutch in the chat is right. The preseason number 1 and 2 missed the postseason last year. That is true. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a year to year kind of argument analysis. I don't know, whatever word you want to use. But I generally think like you just take all the teams from the SEC because the SEC is generally the best conference in college baseball.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's throw all these teams in there and then it works. But then you get teams like Southern Miss at 20 who fraudulent, or you get Georgia Tech, who's a top 5 team. And I know our guy Crutch, I'm not high on them either. Like it's so weird. So that's a real long answer of saying, I don't know, PJ. It kind of depends.
That's fair. So what was it? 3 years ago, 2 years ago, we were all aboard the pirate ship. We had those ECU futures
We were
that we were riding out. Who's our pirate ship this year? Is there a squad that we're planting our flags with?
So I really like Florida at 40-1.
Okay.
Thanks for reading the Substack, PJ. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.
But I really like the at 40-1. Like I said, they have a ton of talent, and I think people are overblowing I don't even want to call it an issue. They had kind of a situation with their manager at the end of last year where he took a leave of absence, but it was from like November to December or like October to like, it was not even during the season. And now he's back already. So I think that's a big nothing. So I like them at 40-1. And I also like Texas at 15-1, bouncing back from last year where they were the number 1 overall seed going into the tournament, and then they lost their own regional in very humbling fashion. So I like them in a bounce back spot. So those are 2, but if you want like a pirate ship dark horse, it's the team playing right now, PJ, 18-1 to make Omaha. UCSB is a flag that we planted. So today could be the start of something awesome, or we could be in a bad spot behind the 8 ball from the jump here. We'll see how it goes. Jackson, Florida did let up a leadoff double, but then did get a fly out for the first out of the bottom of the first. Fully expect him to get out of it because he's a dog. PJ, let's talk about you for a second because we're going to talk about college baseball for a lot of this. But PJ, you got your own thing going for college basketball. Hoops and 5 has been awesome because, you know, clearly you're not returning the favor, but I've been watching your content and it's been great. But you're the best, and you are way in the weeds on college basketball. Please tell me the Illini are going to be okay. Please tell me this, PJ. They lost back-to-back overtime games, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because Kylan Boswell's coming back on Sunday.
Well, define okay. Like what's okay? Second weekend, Final Four, national championship. Like, what would make you
whatever your honest opinion is, PJ? How about that?
I think Illinois is like an Elite 8 Sweet 16 team. That would be I know a lot of people are bullish on them. Like a lot of people think they can go Final Four, national championship. And I think like that's fair. That maybe is their upside. To me, they feel like a second weekend team though. It's like last year's team too, Jake. And this year's team is better than last year's team was. They got great guard play. This year, they just got a really well-rounded team. They're just too up and down. They're too inconsistent for me. Boswell coming back is big. I mean, Keaton Wagler is just what a stud he is, good. Dude. He is really good. And I love your bigs. I love all the European kids. It's just, I think it's going to be tough for Illinois. My thing with the Illini, there's so many teams in college basketball this year that they're like in this tier. It's like Bama, BYU, like maybe Illinois is like a little bit better, but you can throw them in there. Michigan State, where like I don't trust them to beat any of the top teams in the country, but like they can beat everybody else. Right? So like the top teams are Arizona, Duke, UConn's up there, Michigan's up there, Houston's up there. Like I wouldn't take any of those teams. Like I wouldn't take Illinois to beat any of those teams on a neutral court, but I think they can beat anybody else. So look, with the tournament, I mean, if some upsets happen and they get a favorable draw, like of course they can make it to a Final Four or something like that. But I don't think it's a national championship caliber team. They're exciting as hell to watch, and they're really fun. And Boswell coming back is going to make him better. But I think their upside, Jake, is like, I think Final Four upside, but I think they're going to be a Sweet 16 or Elite 8 team, be my guess.
I would take Elite 8, to be clear. I just,
Okay.
Doesn't
Chicago have a region this year?
Maybe it's on the table. I think it's either Chicago or maybe Milwaukee again, but I think Chicago has a regional, which would be, and I mean, me, Isaac Trotter, a couple other insane people from my group at an Illinois tournament game at the United Center. Oh God.
Oh man. Yeah, because DC has one this year. They have the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, which I'm very excited about. Also, for whatever reason, I don't know what we did to deserve this, but Duke and Michigan are playing a regular season game next Saturday in DC. That I'm going to. So that's going to be awesome. Very excited for that one. You do, Jake. The Midwest region this year is Chicago. So San Jose, Chicago, Houston, and DC, or the 4 regional sites. So there is a good chance your Illini could be playing at the United Center. So there you go.
God, I need it. I need it like I need air to breathe. And if the Illini win, if the Illini win an advancing game, the what people thought they saw when the Bears beat Green Bay in the playoffs, as far as my alcohol intake and how late I was out, it won't even compare. But that's a conversation for.
How's Illinois baseball going to be this year?
Bad.
Yeah, not good.
The problem with the Big Ten is there's really only one good team. Like UCLA is a top 10 team and everyone else kind of stinks. Like every year I want to believe in Indiana and just they can't get it together. So, I mean, I was on Oregon last year. I thought their pitching staff would be able to get them over the hump. And then they had a guy almost win the Golden Spikes, almost steal it from Rock Chalowski, who is the shortstop at UCLA and is the favorite for the award this year. Not going to win, but it's just UCLA and the Big Ten. And that's also part of why I want to take some of these shots in the SEC with Texas at 15-1 and Florida 40-1, because I don't really see a lot of true contenders in the other conferences. Like Oregon State, who my guy Crutch is on, like they're an independent and they do have 2 really, really good pitchers to anchor their staff. I think their offense will be good enough, but like the Big 12, okay, TCU will be good, but I don't know. Kind of, PJ, kind of what you were just saying with Illinois basketball not being able to beat these best of the best teams. Yeah. Like UCLA is going to be coming from a soft conference in the Big Ten. Like, I don't think they're going to have what it takes when it comes to facing an Arkansas or facing an LSU or facing a Texas, like, especially because those teams are probably going to host their regionals. And I think that's just going to be for some of these teams like Oregon State, who will probably host their regional, but just for the sake of argument, let's say like a TCU, I think when the step up happens in competition, some of these teams won't be ready. And I think that's going to be especially true for UCLA, who's going to get to beat up on a very, very weak Big Ten this year. And then I think they're going to get like the third SEC team in their region. Some like they're going to get somebody like, I don't know, just pick a team, a team from the, like they're going to get a Vanderbilt going to LA. And they're going to lose because even though Vandy is going to be like the 5th best team in the SEC, it's going to be such a disparity between what UCLA had been used to seeing. And I think that's going to hurt them come tournament time, and which is a reason why I don't like UCLA to win the title and maybe not even make Omaha. That's a conversation that we can have in a couple weeks after we watch a couple of these games. Update on the game that we're watching. Jackson Flora got out of the leadoff double trouble. Oh, rhyme unintended. Easily. It strikes out the third batter, just blows a fastball right by him. Never even had a chance. And we can see if UCSB is going to, nope, that's a foul ball. 3-2 count for UCSB's leadoff hitter in the top of the second. PJ, when I was talking about you earlier, before you came on the show, I introed you, teased your arrival by saying a man who once called Sydney Sweeney a number 3 seed alike to Creighton in the NCAA tournament. I would just like to see if you maintain that position.
I think I actually called her a 4 seed, but I think that was a little, I think that was a little too harsh. Yeah, she's moving into like low 2, high 3 tier, I think I would say. I still, I got to keep my stance that she's not a 1 seed. I mean, look, Sydney Sweeney's very attractive. For me, she's a low 2, high 3.
To say.
She's low 2, high 3. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I think at the time I did say 4. That was probably a little harsh. Creighton's not a 3 seed. That was probably bad seeding too. I think who's a good 3? Honestly, your Illini are a good 3.
I'll take that.
I'll take that. 3. I think like Texas Tech or Kansas. Kansas nowadays is like a great 3. I feel like the last 4 or 5 years. So I think Sydney Sweeney's comp, Jake, I think she's Kansas. Blue blood. A lot of people love her. She was a 1 for many years. A lot of people think she's better. She's been faded in my eyes, but I think she's a 3.
Oh, PJ, you are so special to me. I just never change, my man. Never, ever change. I was teasing other things that we're going to talk about later in the show, and then I kept getting distracted because it's me. We will also talk a little bit of MLB if people want to throw that in the chat. If they have bets, anything you have in the chat, honestly, if you're watching live, throw it in there and we'll get to it at some point. If you want to call PJ a big dumb for his takes on Sydney Sweeney, that's fine. I would never say that, of course. If you have any bets for the college baseball slate, futures, any questions, you could throw those in the chat, Game Day Garage on YouTube and Twitch, and we'll answer them. But I have a question for you, PJ, as we're just riffing, going back and forth here, as guys do, as dudes do. I think in the email with the link I said you was just guys being dudes. Spring training, not to be overshadowed by college baseball opening day. It absolutely should be, because who cares about spring training games? But your Orioles in camp, I asked you this a couple weeks ago, and you were feeling decent about the Orioles. They do not sign Framber Valdez, though.
Shocker.
They do not sign. They do not sign another starting pitcher. So they're just going to roll it out there, basically with the same guys from last year and a couple extra, cast-offs. How you feeling, my man? How we feeling?
You know what made me laugh is did you see the most bet?
Yes. Oh my God. I saw that this morning. The most bet ticket for AL Cy Young at BetMGM, Kyle Bradish.
Which, look, I love him. I think he's a great pitcher.
Yeah, he's a good pitcher.
But he was like hurt all of last year. I think that price should be double. Like his price should be 80 to 1 or something like that. Trevor Rogers would be the bet for me if you're looking for like an Orioles Cy Young winner, because he was unbelievable last year in the second half of the season. So maybe he can continue that. Not surprised they didn't get Framber, because the Orioles are one of those teams that whenever they're like linked to getting a player, they never do, right? Pete Alonso came out of nowhere, and that's the guy they end up signing. I like their team, Jake. The pitching is, not getting another number 1 is probably what's going to be their downfall, but their lineup's really good. They're due for some better injury luck this season, even though Jackson Holiday got hurt, and I think he's going to be out a couple weeks, got like a broken bone in his hand. None of these like top teams, though, in the American League really scare me, if I'm being honest. Like, I think the Blue Jays are good. The Mariners are good. Those, I think, are the top 2 teams to beat. The Astros, Red Sox, Tigers, or all these teams, they have a lot of questions. I think the fact that we're still making the Yankees the favorites are hilarious, personally. I you talk about a team that did nothing to help their squad. They re-signed Bellinger. They didn't go after any big names. They're completely relying on Garrett Cole just to return to his old self. And maybe he does, and maybe Schlittler's awesome again, and their starting pitching's like the best in baseball. But they lost some guys in the back end of their bullpen. I just at what point do we stop making the Yankees the favorite because they're the Yankees? So I think that's kind of funny that they're the fave. Blue Jays and Seattle, Jake, I think are the two best teams in the American League. But outside of that, I mean, I think there's an argument that the O's could be three. They won the American League East a couple years ago. They made it to the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years. They won 100 games a couple years ago. Their lineup's going to be great. I like the additions they made in their bullpen. Like Helsley, I don't think it's going to be as bad as he was with the Mets. I think he'll be pretty good. And I like the fact that we have a new manager now. No more Brandon Hyde, thank God. So I'm totally out on the Yankees. I think the Orioles are good value. I think the Texas Rangers are a super fascinating team as well that not enough people are talking about. Those would be the two teams that I'd be looking at. But yeah, it seems like you're in agreement that like, why do we keep making the Yankees the favorite?
Here's another 500 ABs for Anthony Volpe. Great. Can't wait. Awesome. Can't wait to bet those strikeout props. I will tell you, PJ, a bet that me and you're familiar with the work of Colby Marcio, we put in was Gunnar Henderson 40 home runs at 17-1. That seemed like a massive misprice for a guy who almost got there a couple years ago and, you know, is healthy and has his oblique intact this year. So that was something that we did real quick. Elsewhere in college baseball, I mean, Crutch, you got to be sweating this Michigan-Oregon State game because 1-run game and it's the top of the fifth. We're not great. What's really alarming, and actually this is a point that I was going to make, and PJ, I'm sure you're familiar. Coastal Carolina lost in the final last year to LSU. And everyone is saying, everyone on hashtag Twitter, everyone hashtag college baseball Twitter, is like, oh, Coastal will be back. They bring back a bunch of their pitchers. And they just got back. You know what our friend Ken Barkley always used to say, PJ, is that you can't get better. You can't, if you don't get better, if you get worse year over year, you're not going to win anything. And Coastal got worse after going to the championship series last year. I like their starting frontline pitcher, Cameron Flukie. He's really good. I love their manager. I love the environment that they have in that home stadium, but they're losing 2-0 to Fairfield. I'm going to repeat that. Coastal Carolina, the number 6 team in the country, is losing 2-0 to Fairfield, and pretty late in the game too. It's the 6th inning. It's bad. So I'm not super high on that team. Everyone can sink their money into that if you really want to. I'm not super on that one. TCU and Vandy, the other big game that we have going right now, that's tied at 1. Vanderbilt tied that. That's in the bottom of the third. Other games that we have on the slate later. Texas is going to play later tonight. UCLA, who we talked about, they play tonight as well. I'm interested in the Arizona and Stanford game just because Stanford, that lineup could be something. And Arizona's always one of those teams that is very, when they're hot, they're hot. When they're not, they kind of stink. And Jackson Flora might be getting out of trouble here again after he hit the first batter and then just immediately strike out, and now has the last batter 0-2. He's so good. He's so good. PJ, I know that you're not the biggest college baseball guy, and we don't have to keep belaboring the point there. What's up, buddy? I just haven't talked to you lately. Like, what's new in the PJ Glasser world?
Not much. I'm heading to Cameron Indoor.
Damn it, PJ.
I'm headed to Cameron Indoor for the first time on Monday, so I'm excited for that. Going to Duke. They're playing Syracuse, which, they should win that game by 30, but excited to see that. Outside of that, no, I mean, just hanging out, chilling, Jake. Going to turn on some college baseball later tonight, so.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Not much to write home about.
My guy, Brian Bowo Giles in the chat, threw a couple golden spikes in there, some long shots, which we will talk about. And I know one of the names at 150-1 that me and my guy Crutch have talked about at length. We'll talk about. And PJ, in case you miss it, I will text it to you. Don't you worry. I got you.
Thank you.
Also that will require golden spikes being up in everybody's market because it's not up in all states, and it's very, very annoying. Jackson, Florida does get out of it. Bottom of the second over. Southern Miss stays scoreless. We're on our way. Nobody say anything.
Who is the best player in the country this year, you think? Do we have a Paul Skeens this year? Or no?
I think he could be. it's a little too early. Like, he has the talent for sure. Like, Flora could be Skeens. He has the build. He has the raw talent for sure. A guy in Florida, Liam Peterson, would be another one who is an awesome pitcher, has all the talent in the world, just needs to put it together. Is like, now who's the best hitter? That's a more fun conversation, because you could say Rock Chalowski at UCLA. You could say, what's his nuts at Georgia Tech, Drew Burress. You could take your pick of a bunch of guys in the SEC, honestly. Dax Whitney, as Crutch puts in the chat, that's another very good one. But to answer your question, PJ, like, Flora, Skeens-esque is up there. It's with, to use another Ken Barkleyism, it's within the range of outcomes. Let's put it that way. And now, I don't think a pitcher is going to win Golden Spikes. I would never bet that price, especially for Flora. Like, it should probably be like 150 to 1, but it's definitely there. Wow, that guy looks like they just showed the UCSB dugout, and I just had to do a double take because number 9 on UCSB looks frightening like Mario Harone, and I was very scared for a second. Confirmation, I believe, that Rob Brown will be joining the program shortly after our friend PJ Glasser is exits on stage left, but we're not letting PJ go yet because I don't want to, and I call the shots here. But I don't know. PJ, first and foremost, thank you. And I'm not letting you go. I just did want to thank you for your time because I didn't say that yet. I agree with you, just to tie a bow on our thing about the American League. Like, the Yankees, they're always going to be the favorites as long as Judge is there and as long as it's the Yankees. Like, that's always going to be the case. But for me, like, I'm dying to bet other teams now because there's the hashtag value elsewhere. Like, stop me if you've heard this sentence before, Peach. I really like the Royals. I think the Royals could be really good. I think that rotation with a healthy Reagans could be awesome. I think that lineup after adding Isaac Collins is going to be really good. I think Carter Jensen as a rookie is going to be awesome. And I would never bet him 6-1 to win Rookie of the Year, but he's definitely going to have a chance. Jack Kaggs, our guy from last year, can't possibly be as bad as he was last year. So, and Bobby Witt Jr. is still there. So I really like the Royals. I think the Rangers could figure it out. Skip Schumacher calling the shots there and being the manager. Like, he's so good as a manager. And now adding Mackenzie Gore to be your theoretically number 3 starter behind DeGrom and Eovaldi, like, come on. So I'm still going to be bullish on the Rangers. Those will probably be the shots that I take. But the Blue Jays, man, like, they might just, because they lost the World Series and they said, all right, let's reload and add more and go back.
That was it was a surprising run because I think John Schneider's like not that great of a manager.
He's a 0.
Like, and I always looked at that team like, man, they're so good. They have so much talent. And Schneider's just like one of the worst managers in baseball. And then, they win the American League East. They make this run. And I was like, wow. And, he was pushing a lot of the right buttons, but yeah, I mean, with the addition of Cease and some of the other moves that they made, even losing Bichette, who, again, like, really wasn't part of their postseason run, I think they'll be fine. But yeah, the American League, a lot of good teams. We haven't even really talked about Boston. I mean, Detroit, their rotation with Skubal and Framber and Flaherty is going to be really good. So
I kind of think I think the Framber signing means they're going to trade Skubal. Like, I think that, like, and now they were forced to pay him too. Like, they lost the arbitration hearing. Like, now they owe him $32 million. I kind of think they're going to trade him. And one place they're not going to trade him is the Nationals because, oh my God. And that would never happen. The Nationals are going to be calling me and PJ to play it soon enough. But I kind of think the Tigers are, and I like the Royals to win that AL Central at 2-1. Like, I kind of think the Tigers are, not to, pun unintended, I kind of think they're a paper tiger. I think on paper, they're like, oh my God, this team's great. I don't know. Although we do have a Max Clark 100-1 Rookie of the Year ticket that has aged pretty well because it already got cut in half, and I think that could be pretty interesting. All right, PJ, you've been very kind with your time. It's been about 25 minutes, so on the way out, I will ask you to plug yourself. Wow, that's a sentence I'm never going to say again. Plug your socials and where we can find you and what you're doing, and give us your final 4 for college basketball on the way out, please.
Oh man, Final Four. All right, I got to pull up a bracket real quick to look at some of these teams so I can make a decision. Actually, I'll pull up Ken Palm and look at some of these teams that I
Yeah,
like.
sure.
But yeah, you can follow me on X at PJ Glasser 9. Hoops and 5, Jake, like you said, I drop a couple of videos every week, but once March starts to get rolling, I'll crank out some more content, talking college basketball, updating people on the best games from the night, some of the best performances, all that kind of stuff. I'll be doing college basketball, golf stuff for Game Day Garage coming up over the next month, so definitely stay tuned for that. Excited for that. And then as for college basketball, my Final Four, I'm telling you right now, barring injury, I think Michigan's going to be my national champion. I think they're going to win it all. That's going to be my team. I'm going with the Wolverines. I like them to win it, so I definitely have them in my Final Four. I'll put Houston in there as well. I like Kelvin Sampson's team a lot. Top 10 offensive and defensive. He's got 2 lottery picks. He's got veteran guards. I think they're going to be really, really good. Man. I like UConn. I don't think I like UConn to win the national title, but obviously Hurley's track record, what he's done in the tournament the last couple of years. Problem with UConn is just they need to stay healthy. You know, like they've just all year they've had guys in and out of the lineup, but I think they're good enough to get there. So I'll go with the Huskies. And then a team that I like a lot, Jake, that I keep an eye on. I'm hoping they get like a favorable draw. Like my dream would be for them to get like Nebraska or Purdue as like a 3 seed, you know, and they get like Michigan State as a two, like something like that, even though they're in the Big Ten with this team. I like Iowa though. Iowa would be my sleeper. Keep an eye on. I think Ben McCollum is a stud, their head coach. Love him. He was a Drake last year. They won 30 games. His point guard, Bennett Sturts, came with him. Their top 20 offense, top 30 defense. They play at one of the slowest paces in the country, which when you get to the tournament can put a lot of pressure on some of those higher seeded teams that aren't getting as many possessions as they're used to. And look, if you have a great coach and a good point guard, that combo can take you a long way. So, keep an eye out for Iowa, Jake. That would be my long shot that I like.
All right. You could convince me. I can hear Kate Constable cheering from here, even though we're about 5 miles apart. PJ, last thing, it is Valentine's Day weekend. Will you be seeing Tyler Morales this weekend?
No, unfortunately, I will not. Unfortunately, I will not be. I don't know what Tyler's up to. I should give him a text though tomorrow. We should go in on like some golf bets, you know, some like 3rd round head-to-head matchups or something like that. But no, I will not.
Text him tomorrow bright and early on Valentine's Day, PJ. Just let him know you're thinking about him, okay?
I will, Jake. Just for you, I'll do that.
PJ Glasser at PJ Glasser 9. He will be here on Game Day Garage as we get into the tournament. Thank you, buddy. Love you.
Thank you, Jake. See you, pal.
Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, there it is. PJ Glasser, my guy. Rob Brown will be joining us shortly. I will not be updating the graphic, so you're just going to have to imagine where it says PJ Glasser Live. I'm going to cough again. Hello. Where it says PJ Glasser, just imagine that it says Rob Brown there. And he will be giving us his thoughts on the college baseball slate and what's going on there. LSU has closed the gap. Closed. I don't know why I said it like that. It is 5-4. They are still losing to Milwaukee, but they got a little bit of time. It's the top of the 7th right now, unless my app hasn't updated. And if it hasn't, somebody please correct me. But also our guy Crutch, Oregon State has lengthened the gap. They've given themselves some breathing room against Michigan in that one, so he can breathe a little bit easier. And I can too, because they were part of the money line favorites parlay for the night. And that is in fact 3-1 Oregon State in the top of the 6th. Coastal Carolina still losing. It shouldn't shock me, but it honestly does. Where we're at in our game at the moment, UCSB, the Gauchos, still up 1-0 over Southern Miss. It is the bottom of the 3rd. Flora is on the mound. We got 1 out. And this is my problem with Southern Miss. I tweeted when the rankings came out. Oh, here we go. The yearly Southern Miss love in the rankings. And usually they're around that 20 to 25 range. I just don't get it. Like, they're a good team, but they can't, and maybe part of this is Flora. They can't score. They can't hit. And for a sport like baseball, kind of important. So, and that was part of why we bet UCSB in this game at a pretty big plus money price and in the first 5. And so far through almost through 3 innings, it's 2 outs now. We're looking decent. We are not out of the woods. College baseball, part of the beauty, part of the chaos of it is crooked numbers can go up very fast. But as of right now, we're looking all right. Flora's going to get through 3 innings here, probably even under 40 pitches, maybe even under 35. It's a really, really good spot to be in for the bet. Hashtag the bet. The bet. Just did like 3 bits from a former BetMGM network show, RIP kind of. And now we can move on from that. A couple of comments that I do want to get to. Our guy, Brian, my guy, Brian Bobo Giles. Are you liking Stanford tonight against Arizona or too early to tell? I'm not going to bet them tonight. I'll leave it. But if you want to take the plunge, I don't think that that's a bad idea. I think Stanford is a team with a lot of upside, and they're a team that lineup could absolutely carry them. And like we were saying, Arizona is a team where they their range of outcomes is very volatile, and Flora gets the out. 34 pitches through 3 innings. We are looking very, very good. So we like to see that. Before we get to Rob Brown in a little bit, as we go to commercial, I'm going to use the bathroom because I've been talking for like an hour. And PJ did a little bit of talking too. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put up a nice little slate here while we're in a commercial, and I'm going to mute myself, obviously, because it's behind the paywall to not be muted, but I'll be right back. Okay. See you in a minute. All right. Hello. How about that for timing? As we come back from break. So UCSB, top of the 4th. We are this close. Well, maybe a little bit like this close ish from cashing our first 5 bet, which would be really awesome for many different reasons. Okay. There's some comments to get to as I'm going to open that. Hello, Nikashu. Taking the camera with you would have given us, no, it would have given you things that are only behind the paywall. So you would have to, it's behind the paywall for a reason. Sorry. You got to pay for that kind of content. And we should probably wait for the sun to go down for that too, because, yes, I did see what you did there. Boo, tomato, tomato, tomato. Okay. We got that out of the way. The other comment from our guy, Bobo Giles. This one makes me very happy. Golden Spikes. And there's a name here that I mentioned at 150 to 1. I have to cough again. The allergies are kicking my ass. The pollen count is out of control. Please hold. Anyway. UCSB gets a single. 1 out, top of the 4th. Man on first. Anyway. So Henry Ford, let's talk about this. Tennessee at 50-1. He's really, really good. And transferring from Virginia, he goes to Tennessee. Virginia was a massive disappointment last year. We alluded to them as the number 2 team in the country that didn't even make the postseason last year. Ford transfers out after Virginia's manager leaves for the Mississippi State job. And Tennessee is just a team in general I don't really want a part of after their manager, Tony Vitello, left to go manage the San Francisco Giants. So I just don't know what this is going to look like. And if Tennessee is a mediocre team, then they're not going to have the Golden Spikes winner. Now, this one makes me and my guy Crutch very happy because we both really like this. Oh, Ford hit his first home run today. So yeah, I mean, the number is going to go down, but don't chase a number, like what did our friend Ken Barkley say? Like, you don't chase a number, don't chase the steam just because other people are betting it. It's one game. These numbers are going to change a lot, but it might be good. I don't have to be right, but I'm just not a Ford guy. I'm not a Tennessee guy. This other bet though, Chris Rembert of Auburn, 150-1 to win the Golden Spikes Award. And here's my strategy with Golden Spikes anyway. It's somebody always pops out of nowhere. Like Rock Chalowski came out of nowhere. Justin LeBron for Alabama last year came out of nowhere. Like a lot of times these guys, the kid from Oregon, the second baseman who hit like 1 million home runs, he wasn't even on the board midseason. So it just depends. Like it can always go different areas. And I'd rather take a shot on somebody further down the board. And Chris Rembert of Auburn, he could be unbelievable. Had an insane freshman, by the way, year for Auburn last year. Should only get better in his sophomore year. Full-time starter in the SEC. And Auburn should be a tournament team, maybe even host a regional. So that the pedigree is going to be there for them to be in the spotlight. And as such, Rembert would get a lot of the shine as the guy, best hitter, one of the best teams. At 150-1, I think we're going to have a lot of CLV here, and we can use all that CLV to buy Uber Eats, and it'll be great, and we can shake our fists, and it'll be really awesome. And then, we starve because you can't actually use CLV to buy Uber Eats. But I think that should age really well. And I mean, even at the end of the year, mid-year, if you go score, miss it. No. Pulls up a third. Okay. Well, we get a double from UCSB with 2 outs. So now it is going to be multiple men on base, second and third with 2 outs. I would love an insurance run. I would really, really love an insurance run because the last thing we need in a league with metal bats is a solo home run to lose the first 5. I would really hate that. So an insurance run here would go a long way. But anyway, Chris Rembert, Auburn, 150-1 Golden Spikes is a bet that we are making. It fits all of my criteria, at least taking a shot, somebody that could pop, and on a good team that should be at least in the tournament, if not hosting a regional. That makes a lot of sense to me. While we're talking about Golden Spikes, one that I just like, and again, triple digits, it's taking a shot, but I like Miles Bailey from Florida State. The dude is built like freaking Thanos. Like he has to walk sideways through door frames because he's just so massive. Like the dude could honestly not shatter maybe, but he could break Charlie Condon of Georgia from a couple years ago, who ended up being, what was it, 3rd overall pick, 5th overall pick, top 5 pick, I believe, to the Rockies. So, RIP his career. Sorry to my guy Brennan, but Bailey could break that record. He's an absolute unit, home run threat every single time he comes to the plate. Florida State should be pretty good. They should be hosting a regional theoretically. They definitely are one of the better teams in college baseball. Get down. 2. Let's go. Not only 1 insurance run. Dose. So now it is going to be 3-0 UCSB. Let's go. All right. Not through the woods yet. Southern Miss is going to have 2 more chances to come to the plate before we even cash the first 5. But again, insurance runs, that's what we like. But back to Miles Bailey, 100-1 Golden Spikes, a dude who I think could hit a gajillion home runs. So that's a shot that I'm going to take. And that's my what strategy. There we go. That's a good word for Golden Spikes. I want to take shots. I don't want to go towards the top of the board. I would never bet Rock Cholowski at, less than whatever it is, 2-1. Crutch is telling me to check the Clemson score. I will do that right now. And I'm pulling it up. Oh. Okay. That's Crutch. Kanak started this game probably, right? Theoretically, I would imagine. I guess I could just look at the box score in a second. But I mean, it is the 7th anyway. So let's see. For those who are wondering why I'm just making a bunch of nonsensical noises, Army was beating Clemson 2-0. Clemson has tied it at 2-2. Wow. Kanak only went 3 innings. That is concerning for multiple reasons. But do like Clemson still to win the conference. Do still think that they're going to be, even though they are almost going to lose to Army, still could in the opening game of the year as UCSB is thrown out. And that is the end of the inning. Top of the 4th, going to the bottom of the 4th. But we get 2 insurance runs. Huge. Speaking of Clemson, somebody that's in hashtag the area and is familiar with that team. So glad he texted me. Wow. I thought this would have to be a Rob Brown-less show. But yet, at the last second, he texts, Rob Brown, at Rob Brown Show. My friend, how are you? What's going on?
Buddy, I need you to know, I saw the email this morning asking, can anybody join Jake Hasan? And I said, can anybody join him? If I didn't have work today and I got on a plane and flown to come see you for this day, I am relatively confident that there's nobody on the planet that is going to come even close to you when it comes for just pure love of the sport that gives us the best postseason in all of American sports, college baseball. I will fight that till I am dead and buried, my guy. Also, you're very handsome, and why can we not get you better lighting, Jake?
Okay. Well, you know what? Fine. I will take care of the lighting right now. You talk for like 2 minutes. What do you like? Anything that you liked on the college baseball slate today? Teams that you're looking at in the futures market? I personally am on Florida and Texas right now. Those are my only 2 futures bets. But where are you at with this college baseball season? Who do you like? I'm going to go get a lamp so I can fix my lighting, I guess.
What'd be really fun is if I just sat here in silence for 2 minutes while Jake Hasan runs and finds a light. If I just stare into the camera for 2 solid minutes.
I'm sure Nick Ashew would love that.
I'm sure Nick Ashew would love that immensely. I'm actually with you on the Texas bet. They're my favorite to win the SEC. I'm with you on Clemson to win the ACC. I will tell you, and I don't think I'm being too much of a homer here, big on Florida State this year, too. I think there was a bounce back for the Noles. And most importantly, and I hope Jake Hasan hears this from wherever in his, and I don't really know where he went because I'm pretty confident he lives in like a half one bedroom bathroom right now. So he has got to be able to hear us wherever we are. The Noles are bringing back the classic Garnet FS logo, which I'm a baseball jersey guy. I'm a big believer in look good, feel good, play good, win good. State's bringing back Sochi jerseys, and I'm really, really stupid excited about seeing that. But it's a good baseball team behind Reese. I think there's a lot of young talent that just didn't have the opportunity to develop last year. And I think you're going to see that team make a run this year. I think Florida is the dark horse out of the Southeastern Conference as well. The last couple of years, it's felt like Florida has consistently not had the clutch gene in a couple of spots. And I'm interested to get Jake's take on that because it feels like that team has been better than they've shown the last couple of years. They've made a lot of good runs, but it just hasn't, we haven't seen the development that I've looked for. So I'm good with all that. I'm not judging till I see, oh, Jake. Oh, that's so much better. I can see that you actually manicured the beard for this. I'm very happy right now.
I did. Listen, I thought the sunlight would hold a little bit more, but that's where we're at. I just have to hope that this lamp does not fall over and shatter over my floor. Would hate that.
You do know the sun does go down at night. That's just what happens.
What do I look like? A meteorologist, Rob? Okay, I got things to do. I can't be bothered with the sun's angles and the exact times that they're going to happen. I do love to hear you say that you're on Clemson. I agree with you about Uniform Gate, or not Uniform Gate, but I need to get some college baseball jerseys. I'm going to work on that. But as you were saying, you are one of, if not my favorite people to talk college baseball with as well. You're out there in the Carolinas. Are you going to potentially go see one of these Clemson games at some point?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm 45 minutes from Clemson. I'm also about an hour and 30 minutes away from South Carolina. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this last year. And I'm going to make the Jake Hasan show about me for just a minute.
Please.
South Carolina made a mistake hiring Paul Maneri in the place, and then they made a giant mistake by not undoing that decision. This team went from a team that like 3-4 years ago felt like it was a perennial contender in the Southeastern Conference to a team that isn't. And it 1000% feels like coaching because of me the last couple of years. You've got a couple of spots. The middle of that lineup for South Carolina this year should be a threat. This team deserves better than it's gotten. And I just don't understand. It's wildly frustrating to see from anybody on the outside looking in that it is consistent mismanagement that can doom a baseball team. I understand Paul Maneri was an absolute icon and legend at LSU. Most of my family went to LSU. I was a huge fan when he was there. This is something Florida State fans learned with Bobby Bowden a very long time ago. There comes a point that it doesn't matter how much of an icon you are in the sport passes you by. It is an inevitability. Father Time is undefeated. That time has come for Paul Maneri, and I think South Carolina would have had the talent this year to genuinely make a run at this conference, but they bled too much, and I blame it on the fact that Maneri is, 67 years old and can't communicate with the locker room, and I don't know why teams refuse to acknowledge that maybe baseball, which has a very interesting youth base of players that have a baseball for coming out of high school has its own culture in and of itself. I don't understand why it is that teams keep going back to, guys in their late 60s and early 70s are going to be able to communicate with 16 and 17 and 18-year-old kids who play travel ball and don't have real friends. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
These guys don't know how to speak Roblox or jester maxing on the timeline. They don't understand what that's like, Rob Brown. They don't. I agree with you. Like South Carolina is a zero to me. To answer your question about Florida, because while I was getting this lovely lamp set up, you mentioned Florida seems like the team that doesn't have the clutch gene. Over the last couple of years, yes, but I just like the raw talent on this team is so good, especially in the rotation with King and Peterson. I just think and I said this, Rob, when I was giving out Florida earlier a couple of weeks ago, like King and Peterson remind me of Ianson and Anderson from last year. Like they just might be so damn good at the front of the rotation. Nothing else matters because they could just be so dominant and strangle the life out of you over 7 innings. And then it's just curtains.
I am shocked the last couple of years that we have not seen more teams start to, I know we all get caught on the offensive bug. Anybody who has not figured out the college baseball has started to follow the Major League Baseball pattern of if you want to win late in the season, you need front end pitching that can go deep into the season, right? I need guys that are dominant late. Yeah, it's nice to be able to have a couple of dudes that can come out and smack towards the end of the year. But if you want to genuinely be competitive, especially in some of these conferences like the SEC or the ACC that are deep and that do have 6, 7, 8 teams that are not just College World Series contenders, finalist contenders. If you don't have 4 arms, if you don't have all the way down to your weekend guy ready to rock and fire, you're not getting anywhere anymore. The last couple of College World Series champions have all had a first round MLB draft pick somewhere on that staff. And I think closers are just as important as front end guys, but I've got to see more guys moving in that direction.
Speaking of first round talent and guys that could put up crooked numbers and just come from behind, it doesn't matter. LSU has taken the lead over Milwaukee. Milwaukee had a 5-4 lead in the 7th, and shocker, LSU's lineup puts up a crooked number, and it's now 8-5. So think they're going to be okay in that one. Michigan has tied it against Oregon State. In Oregon State, it's now 3-3. Thinking of our guy Crutch because that's not awesome. Coastal has tied it against Fairfield after they were down 2-0. It is now 2-2 in the bottom of the 6th. And TCU and Vandy are also tied at 2-2. Rob, let me ask you this question because this is a question that I've been asked multiple times, and it seems to be a very inflammatory question. Do you think that TCU is a true title contender?
Is that a good enough answer for you? Is that a fair answer? I got to tell you, it's the fairest answer I could come up with on the fly.
Honestly, I think I'm with you because I was talking about earlier in this here show that I don't think they're going to win the title, but I think they could get to Omaha. I just think that, like we see year after year, these teams coming from one of these West conferences, whether it be the former Pac-12 or now the Big 12 or Oregon State, who's independent, like once they have to jump up to play these SEC teams, it's just the disparity is too much, and they can't, like, these SEC teams are just so much better.
Dude, I've said for years about college baseball. I've been doing radio across the Southeast for 18 years now, coming up on 18 years. And I've always gotten really frustrated with the SEC fans in the football world, right? Like, well, we just beat up on each other week in, week out. You don't know what you're talking about. All right. In football, it's driven me crazy. And it's like, yeah, but it's a lot of circular logic. Like, if all your teams start ranked in the top 25, then all their games are going to be top 25 games. And at the end of the year, you keep them all ranked in the top 25 because they all played a bunch of top 25 games. It's circular, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Buddy, the SEC, and I even think to some degree the ACC and baseball, are everything that SEC football fans think SEC football is, right? You're talking LSU, you're talking Texas, you're talking Florida. You're talking about a lot of good baseball that you have to get through. And probably more so than football, with, I don't want to say entirely, but like largely injuries late in the season they can have a huge impact if it's like your front end or your second guy, if it's your Friday, Saturday starter that goes down, if your cleanup guys go down. But you don't have that happen as often as you have star quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs go down, playing 12 weeks of Southeastern Conference football and then jumping into a playoff and have 4 more games to win. I think in baseball, if you have a tougher run-up, a tougher schedule, you're going to be better off. That's not to say you're going to be unbeatable, and that's not to say teams that jump up like TCU, like you're talking about, cannot get it done. I'm saying it is harder to shift the gear from a spot like TCU would be in if they qualify for a regional, super regional, than it would be for a team like a Florida, a team like a Miami out of the ACC, a team like Florida State, a team like a Texas. They had to hit that gear in March if they want to be at Omaha down the stretch. They had to hit that gear and keep it. And it's not something you can really do unless you've got dudes who can do it. And I know that that's a really dumb way to phrase it, but anybody who's watched college football or college basketball or college baseball knows exactly what the hell I'm saying there.
I completely agree with you. I will say something that you said that I think is interesting. If there was going to be a team that was going to upset the SEC and win the title, I kind of think it's one of these teams out of the ACC. Like, whether it's a Florida State, everybody likes Georgia Tech, whatever. Maybe it's a Clemson or North Carolina. I think the ACC has very quickly become kind of the second banana to the SEC in college baseball. Like, a lot of these teams are really damn good and have a lot of really good players. Like, I mean, you even go back a couple of years ago with Vance Honeycutt at North Carolina, whether it's Miles Bailey at Florida State this year, or Jamie Arnold at Florida State last year, Drew Burress, even though I don't like Georgia Tech as a whole, I love me some Drew Burress. Like, I think the ACC is quickly coming up with a lot of contenders too. And if you were going to make some kind of judgment there, maybe take a shot on one of those teams.
I would, and I think it's fair to do it. The ACC has benefited to be the last couple of years. The SEC with, and I know that this is to some degree almost cliche, but with what has happened with the transfer portal with NIL in college football and the SEC and Big Ten becoming Power 2, if we're being honest with each other, with those conferences becoming what those conferences have been in the football world, I genuinely think they are kind of having to push all their chips into football, right? Like you just have to be football heavy if you're in the SEC. The ACC knows they can't do that. And to some degree, I would expect that the Big 12, it may take another year. I think the Big 12 is going to catch up with this and maybe even surpass the ACC down the line. But if you've got to push all your chips to the middle of the table in football in order to get as much money out of the playoffs and out of all the TV money and whatever that these two major conferences are getting, you may not be able to invest in baseball like you have in years gone by, right? Like you may not be able to put as much in there because the more you have to invest into the world of football, the less you have to invest everywhere else. If you're the ACC, you're looking right now and you're going, dude, we're effed when it comes to football, right? Like, we cannot keep up with the SEC and the Big Ten in terms of spending money there. What do we do? And the answer, if you're the ACC, and I said this a couple of years on my show when we started pushing football in that direction, I said a couple of times, like, if I'm ACC in the Big 12, I know that it's never going to bring as many eyes to the TV. But if you're branding matters. And welcome to college football in 2026. Branding is everything at this point. You know what the best way, if you can't catch them in football, is to brand? By winning the national championship and everything else, right? Like if I'm at the ACC, I want to go back to my roots to being to being the basketball conference. I want to go back to my roots of being the baseball conference. If I'm the Big 12, I got to look and go, you know what? FU Texas and FU Oklahoma and FU all these teams that left, we're going to dominate in baseball. And that's not to say they need to get out of investing in football, because the money is still there to be made for them as well. But it's kind of one of those things where if you want the brand everywhere, and the SEC, and I'm not saying that like the SEC is not going to compete. They're always going to be a good conference, because by pushing all their chips in on football, they get more chips back to invest everywhere else. But I would still, if I was an ACC school, a Big 12 school, a Pac 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate school, whatever they are nowadays, I would go all the way in on college baseball, basketball, try to pick up some chips there, and then start to say, and now we want to segue that back to the football world. Listen, I don't know that strategy is going to work. That's why I'm sitting in a cubicle and not running an athletic department somewhere, but that's the way I would try it.
I think you're right. Also, like, just to pick a school out of that, like Florida State, I don't know, they win a baseball championship and may have heard they signed a kid by the name of Charlie Woods for their golf team. I don't know. That could be helpful for good old Florida State. Cool. Rob, I got you. I know you are on a time crunch here, so I appreciate the time. Just give us your, this is a hot topic because it's college baseball opening day. Any teams that are percolating for Rob Brown as a dark horse, as it were. We talked about UCSB. They are a bet at 18-1 for me to make Omaha, but any teams that you like that are maybe on the back burner, maybe not the front line teams for an Omaha contender.
I'll tell you what, Jake Hasan, I'm going to be the worst guest you've ever had because I'm about 2 weeks. I'm about 2 days behind on the college baseball preview. I had to get a real job, buddy, and I need you to know it's an amazing job, and it's taken Jake Hasan time out of my life. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you a full breakdown that I fully intended to do before I got here today, and I didn't do it because I'm a lazy piece of trash. And I'm going to get it to you to post on your account, and we will win some money, I promise.
I love that. That is the best promise I could ask for, and it does erase your sins of not being ready for this moment. Rob, you're the best. Thank you for coming on, man. Tell the people where they can find you before you go.
Done and done. At the Rob Brown Show on social media, buddy. Just find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. We're going to be doing a lot of college baseball. I'm going to be annoying Jake Hasan relentlessly to talk college baseball with him this year.
Oh, you could never annoy me. I promise you that. Rob, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Love you, pal. See you soon.
Man, two great guests today for the inaugural edition of the show and you with Jake Hasan. And now you can see me. The lighting was really bad. That's on me. Sometimes you learn how the sun and the planets work in real time. Okay, we're balling on a budget here. It's literally a lamp that I took a shade off of. You might think, oh, wow, Jake's got a ring light. No, it's the lamp from my bedroom. And I just brought it into the living room, the front room, as it were, because, we're in Chicago. And I took the shade off of it. So as I'm looking at my TV, I'm just staring into the blinding energy of electricity and this naked light bulb. And it's just a pure white light too. So it's just scorching my corneas. But I do that. I do that for you guys because I care about you. And mostly because it would be a disservice if I took this away from all of you. So you're welcome. Anyway, for the bet. Bottom of the fifth, the royal we, because, we are a member of this UC Santa Barbara team. We are up 3-0. Jackson Flores still in the game. Only have 48 pitches. I mean, this is through 4 innings and 48 pitches. This is really good efficiency that you do not see in college baseball very often. And it just expresses why he's one of the best pitchers in the country. 4 innings, 1 hit, 4 Ks. First start of the year. And this is a kid who's been training in California all off season long. What is the real time temperature in Hattiesburg, Mississippi? Hatties. See, we're doing a lot of geography here, and it's Missouri. I don't know why I said Mississippi. It is 7. Really? I guess it is Mississippi, right? All right, never mind. I thought it'd be colder. That was a segment that went nowhere. Weather isn't. Sorry, it's not my forte. Thank God I'm not a weatherman, I guess. I mean, I have a lot of free time. I could if I really wanted to. But the point being, Flora's really, really good. Pop up to center field. Really awesome camera work once again. And 1 out. 2 outs away from cashing our plus 115 first 5 banger and well on our way to cashing plus 140. And I believe I'm going to check in with the rest of the scoreboard here. It is 2-2. I think, yes. Still 2-2 in TCU and Vanderbilt. LSU has pulled away. Coastal Carolina has also pulled away against Fairfield. Clemson and Army still, as soon as this loads, really good. The really fun thing with running ESPN Plus on your TV and to stream on your laptop and still trying to look things up on your phone is the internet works really, really good. As you can imagine, it is 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th between Army and Clemson. And as somebody that has Clemson tickets to win the conference, you know, would appreciate them starting the year with a win. And as far as Michigan and Oregon State, 3-3, and the crutch, they blew it. They blew the bases loaded. Jiminy Christmas. Hated that. Going to the bottom of the 7th for Michigan and Oregon State. And I think that is the only major update that we really have to bring you at this time. Yes, it does look like that is going to be the case. Checking in as far as this game, Flora has, and seriously, Face ID, I think, is one of the worst things that has ever possibly happened to our generation. 0-2, 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Our guy, Jackson Flora, with the 3rd pitch and does not get the swing and does not get the strike call on the black. 1-2. Let's see. We are still waiting on the other games in the favorites parlay. God, I would really love, I don't ask for much, right? Famously. I would just like to have the favorites parlay 3 legs in, and then it's 10:30 p.m. Central Time. And I can watch Hawaii baseball play Gonzaga, and we could get the first Hawaii home field advantage of the year. That's all I want. I just don't feel like I ask for very much. Flora, another pop-up. This is going into right field. Second baseman's under it. 2 outs, 1 away from cashing our first 5 money line, which would be great. I keep moving back on this couch because every time I move, it just pushes it back. Anyway, does anyone have any bets or comments? A lot of y'all have gone real quiet, and I don't appreciate it. So I know Rob Brown and PJ Glasser stole out of the spotlight and maybe left a lot of you breathless. But if you have any bets or you've had any comments or anything, if you have any, what's everyone doing this weekend? I know it's Valentine's Day. I have no plans because I'm very single. And I'm going to treat myself to a nice dinner. I already bought the steak for today. Don't know what I'm going to season or marinate it with yet. Haven't gotten that far. Probably going to do a reverse sear, Sam Panayotovich style. I did make an awesome steak like 2 weeks ago that I reverse seared in the cast iron. Honestly, it was some of my best work. Not even gonna lie to you guys. Not to sprain my own shoulder, pat myself on the back, but it was really, really good. Also going bowling tonight. I haven't bowled in like 10 years. How old am I? 28? It might be longer since I've bowled, honestly. My friend's like, hey, let's go bowling. It's February 13th. Got nothing else to do. See what happens. Can't wait to bowl a perfect 300, obviously. Okay, and now Flora's pitch comm isn't working. He can't get the signals, even though it's 0-2. Just throw a fastball. Or do that. And it's a single through the hole. Okay. I was really hoping we could celebrate our first winning bet of college baseball season to start this. But it appears that is not going to be the case for any of us. How does everyone think this is going? I think it's going well. I'm having fun. Like, I like college baseball. I like you guys. I like talking. And honestly, sitting on this couch like this has not been as bad on my back as I thought it was going to be. Oh, our guy, Brian Bobo Giles, going to the bar to watch college baseball. They have college baseball on at your bar. That's awesome. See, the problem with living in a big city like Chicago is it's just going to be college basketball on all the TVs. And I hate, because I have friends who are bartenders, and like I hate going to a busy bar and being like, can you turn on ESPN Plus, please? So I can watch the college baseball and be the only person watching it. No, like I don't want to be that guy, you know? Especially because I'm going to take 3 Jameson shots to the face, and then I'm probably not going to end up watching it anyway. Okay, this might be Flores' last inning because he just let up another single up the middle. He's at 62 pitches, couldn't get the last batter out, even though it was 0-2. Just get us across the finish line here. Just get us to the first 5, and let's let the bullpen take us with a 3-0 lead to the full game money line. And we just win. We just win. I don't ask for much. Oh, you live in Lincoln. Okay, that makes sense. So it's all Nebraska all the time. That makes a lot more sense. But that's cool. Like, I almost like think that's not better because Chicago's the best city in the world and you will get me out of here in a coffin. But like, when you live in like a college town like that, quote unquote, like I know Lincoln's a big place, but like where everything revolves around like the university team, I think that's kind of sick. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a sense of camaraderie, I guess. I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. It's like, you know, when you go to like Europe and like when I went to Glasgow, because far be it for me to talk about, I gotta stop saying far be it. This is like the 3rd time I've said it. Pop fly should end the inning. And we cashed the first 5 money line. We cashed the first college baseball bet of the year, a first 5 money line plus money banger. And we are well on our way to cashing the plus 140 full game money line. I think that'll probably be Flores' last inning. Maybe we get one more, but we got a 3-0 lead. That's exactly what we asked for. Anything else from Flora is gravy here. Love a good cash. Love that. Let's go. Feels good to be back. So anyway, as I was saying, because now it's a commercial, we could kick our feet up here for a second. I'm not going to do that because, you know, that would be a terrible viewing experience. But like in Glasgow, like everybody rallies around whatever, like whether it's rugby season or soccer season or like just everybody is so invested and it's so sick. Although they still play American sports, and it's really funny because why did I walk into a bar in Glasgow in November and it was Ole Miss and LSU? Like, what? The one TV in the corner? Even more infuriating was when I was in Glasgow a couple years ago and I found the one singular American football fan in this entire bar, probably in all of Glasgow. I'm not going to do the accent, but he goes, I don't know if that Caleb Williams guy is it. All of Glasgow, all of the bars in Glasgow, Scotland. And I find the one guy who knows not only what American football is and follows it, knows who Caleb Williams and the Bears are. But I hope that guy's doing well because that was a couple years ago. And now, eat your words, idiot. Glasgow, love that place though. Miss it. But we are now into the 6th. The Southern Miss team has gone to the bullpen, which we like. Because, see, now this is where things get dicey, though. Because even you could like, and it's kind of like Major League Baseball betting in a way, too, where it's like, okay, you can like a starting pitcher as much as you want, but you should probably stick to the first 5 with that. And books have gotten way better with posting first 5 lines for college baseball, which is great. Used to be you could only get full game money lines. And you're like, all right, well, hope this guy goes 5 or 6 and then hope whatever random freshman comes out of the bullpen can hold it down. College bullpens are incredibly volatile. Like they could be awesome, but a lot of times you're getting, you know, Joe Smith from Naperville, Illinois as a true freshman, the down 3 or even up 4 or 5. And it's just, okay, then all of a sudden it's a crooked number and the game flips. I mean, yeah, that's just sports. Welcome to sports betting. Great. 101, Professor Jake Hasan presiding. Presiding would be a judge. I'm going to take a second. Just let the brain reset. Anyway, betting. But I think I feel good. If we could get, I would prefer one more inning out of Flora. And he's through 5 innings with 61 pitches, 62 pitches. I think that's totally fine. I think he should be totally good. Maybe gets one more. He was cruising. Fifth inning was really the only time he fell into trouble a little bit. I think we'll be all right. This one warms my heart. ECU 12-1 to make Omaha. I mean, they're a perennial contender, and they're a team that year after year, they're pretty consistently in it. Last year wasn't great for them, but it just feels like, and Rob Brown was talking about teams that don't have the clutch gene and can't get over the line. ECU just feels like one of those teams. Like, it feels like they're always going to be the trendy team, the sexy team that everybody wants to bet on. And I fell into that trap a couple of years ago when we bet them at, what was it, 60-1 to win the College World Series? Like, and that was when they had Trey Savage and Ethan Starr. And that team was awesome. But it just feels like they can't just get over that hump. And maybe that's part of what I've been talking about for the last hour and a half of, like, you go up against these SEC teams or even these ACC teams and they just pound you because they're in such a different tier than you are. I hope the bet wins. I'm rooting for you, my man. But also, this will make Crutch happy if he's still here. I don't know. He might have passed away because of Oregon State. But Oregon State to win the College World Series. This is a team that I've heard a lot this year. And a lot of people have been hyping up Oregon State, and this happens yearly. Like, they always look good on paper, and they have the stars. Like, their top two starters are awesome. But I wonder about the offense. And again, the biggest thing for me is, especially as an independent school, who are they cutting their teeth against? Like, I worry that they don't have just the stones, as it were, to win it all. I think it could be an Omaha team, but when it comes to Oregon State winning the whole thing, again, I hope it wins for you, but also I have Texas and Florida. So, I hope I win. But you did, my guy, Brian Giles. These are all his bets, by the way, for those of you who are watching. Did tail the UCSB 18-1 to make Omaha, which, hey, if they're going to do this, and granted, Florida's awesome, and if they win this game 3-0, though, like, if they could just be an average offense, I think UCSB should be there, and they should be not an Omaha lock, but that 18-1 is going to age really, really well, I think. And based on the 5 innings that I've seen today, I have no reason to believe that that's not going to be the case. Checking in on Oregon State and Michigan. That is still loading because, again, I'm running about 17 different things right now. 3-3, top of the 8th. Okay, that is our check-in there. Somebody on my floor is cooking something. And I think they're kind of burning it. Again, these walls are not. It's that somebody on this floor, and maybe even above me, is not happy with the way the last hour and a half has gone. I'll tell you that right now. Clemson has pulled ahead of Army. Doesn't really help us because they weren't part of the parlay, but just good to keep tabs on these teams. But I do have them to win the ACC as well. So, gotta check in on that. TCU and Vandy is still tied at 2-2 in the top of the 7th as well. Coastal is winning. They did pull ahead of Fairfield, which still just does not sound like a real school, but more power to you. This is interesting. We could talk about this for a second. Mississippi State is tied at 2 with Hofstra, which at least is a school that we've all heard of. Here's my problem with Mississippi State, even though they're the 4th ranked team in the country. And it's because they bring in a new manager. He comes over from Virginia and brings a bunch of guys with him, and they have a bunch of talent anyway. I just kind of the same thing with Tennessee. Like, when you have so much roster turnover and you have to wait to see how these guys gel. I mean, think about Texas last year. Like, they were the number 1 overall team when they got into the tournament, but then when push came to shove, they lost their own regional. So I think that teams like that, it takes a year, usually, maybe. And I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, especially in my personal life. But I'm just saying, like, it feels like it takes a year for these things to gel correctly. And that's part of why I'm betting Texas this year in year 2 of the Jim Schlossnagle era, because That it feels like now they had the year, okay, the disappointing exit in the tournament, and now it's go time. So we'll see. 15-1, Texas, like them, but that's why I don't like Mississippi State. I think it's too many moving parts. And I think that we can revisit this next year when the odds drop, but I'm not betting them at 3-1, 4-1 to win the College World Series, mostly because that's not very fun. Who wants to do that? So that's my thought on all of that. Oh, I didn't put the rail back up. That's my bad. Hold on. Bink. There we go. It's back. Lovely. Look at that beautiful side rail that Kate Adriani made. I think. Right? Yeah. Or that might have been Nick. Our great production team that we have here. I also kind of helped edit it a little bit. Oh, nope. Camera work. College baseball. Once again, who is texting me? Oh, Shane Reardon's texting me. You might have. Okay, that is nothing that has to do with anything. Thanks for nothing. Anyway, let's see if Flora comes out here. Let's see if Jackson Flora is going to come out for the 6th. And if he doesn't, then maybe we'll call it curtains here. But if this is the last few minutes that we have together, unless anyone else has anything burning that they want to talk about, I'm here for it. Anyone want to talk about Night of the Seven Kingdoms? I got a lot of thoughts on that. My first thought is it's been awesome. First beer of the weekend. Hey, why not us? As my friend Sean Hall likes to say. Let's have a weekend. College baseball's back, right? Anyway, that is a koozie, by the way. Jake Hasan, groomsman for my best friend's wedding. Wasn't best man. It's fine. He has an older brother. It'd be like that. But my speech killed. So, and I have a great picture from that wedding that if I ever get back on Hinge will be prominently featured because I look great in a tux. I'll tell you that right now. And it was before I, let my face get a little fat from the holidays, but it's February, so who cares? All right. Is he going to come out here? I have to clear my throat again. Allergies kicking my ass. All right, let's see. He is out there again. All right, let's stick around for this half inning and see how this goes. I want to see how this goes for our guy Jackson Flora. If he could get us a little closer to victory here. Honestly, there's 6 of you here. I'm stunned that there's still 6. I think we peaked at like 12 live viewers. I don't know. I'm sure Kate will give me the hashtag metrics tomorrow. Still no texts that have anything to do with anything. My biggest gripe, like I love my friends, but sometimes you just open a group chat and you see 30 missed messages. And sometimes you just got to click them, open them so that they don't show up as unread. And you just got to move on with your day. Sometimes don't social clip this. I don't want my friends to beat the shit out of me, but I'm just saying for the people who are here, sometimes you just got to open a group chat when there's 30 unread messages and you just got to move on with your day. Who has time for all that? Ooh, Flora hits the first batter at the bottom of the 6th. That's not a great start. 66 pitches. Let's see if they let him keep cooking here. But it's just like, who has time for that? I don't have time to go back and read 30 messages. If you made it that far without me, without needing my opinion, then I don't think you need me to chime in an hour later. I think you'll survive. And if it's really that burning, you'll just ask me directly. Hint, it's usually not that burning. So, yeah, this light is much better. It's really good that Rob bullied me into bringing this out because otherwise it'd be pitch black in here. As I'm sure you can tell by the darkness behind me. Prince of Darkness, as it were. They're keeping him out. His controls not holding. Well, anyway. Mound visit, and maybe they're going to go to the bullpen here. We'll see how that goes. Probably not. But anyway. It's everyone watching these days. It's everyone reading. Anything? Honestly, I got a library card to performatively read, but I forgot how much I like reading. Reading rules. I've gone through like 7 books already, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for somebody who didn't read a lot the last couple of years, I'm having a good time. So, I mean, granted, did I post my library card on my Instagram story at Hasan_Jake, by the way, to get some likes? Yeah, obviously. It's the name of the game. Have I taken a book to a bar because I'm unemployed and I have 2 more weeks of severance? Yes. It's just the name of the game. It's how I find the love of your life. Because I don't want to get back on Hinge. Because it's horrible in these streets. Nikashu, you should be very happy you're married because it's horrid in these streets. It's just bad. Rob Brown texted me thanking me for having him on. Of course. I sincerely apologize for not being my best. My friend, if you're listening to this, you were fantastic. And I'm going to text it to you as well. Because Rob Brown's the best. And he's very entertaining. And even when he's, quote, unprepared, he's still very prepared and still has a lot to say. And this is why I wanted him on. That's a swing, right? That has to be a swing. Bitch. All right. We're in danger here. It's going to be first and second, no outs. Flora still on the mound. Yeah, you shouldn't be missing the streets, Mr. Issue. It's All right, I'm a little scared here. Yeah, hit him. Wow, that was dangerously close to the junk. We're in the meat part of the thigh, though. Ooh, that's going to bruise. All right, we're in danger here. I would love a double play or a strike out the side. That'd be cool. Please. Oh, okay, they're keeping Flora in. 3rd hit by pitch today. That's not awesome. And he only had 9 hit batters last year, and he has 3 today. Yikes. My friends, if you were wondering what they're talking about on the group chat that I'm missing at the moment that required 40 text messages, they're talking about Chili's. Which, I mean, granted, Chili's is awesome. I would crush a triple dipper right now. Southwestern egg rolls. See, the problem is the nearest Chili's is like 30 minutes away. And I do not have the funds to pay for DoorDash of Chili's. I did have a friend DoorDash Chili's to the bar one time. That was a crazy move. I kind of respected it, though. Can you guys tell that I'm not unpracticed? That I'm not a stranger to talking to myself in my apartment? This is what happens when you live alone. You kind of just talk to yourself sometimes. And maybe is it a sign of developing schizophrenia? Maybe. But that's a problem for future me. And maybe my relatives and caretakers, should they be around and elect to caretake me, take care of me, caretake me. Is that a word? Anybody? Somebody look that up. Please don't. It's not really worth it. Oh, I am stressed out about this inning right now. Please roll double play or just strike him out. That'd be cool. 1 and 2, 72 pitches for Jackson Flora. Number 2 for a pitcher is sick. It's such a flex. #athlete. This is really good radio, right? That long pause for everybody and doesn't strike him out. Why does God hate me? This is why I need to just learn to stick to first 5 bets. But it's fine. It's fine. Everything's going to be fine. What am I even freaking out about? What am I even freaking out about? It's going to be fine. See, because he strikes him out anyway. 74 pitches, 1 out, men on first and second for Jackson Flora. Just get out of it. Then leave 3 innings to the bullpen, and we feel good. 5 strikeouts. Honestly, he should have had more too. Who did I just miss a call from? Oh no, that was old, right? Oh yeah, okay. What is this? Hello. Yeah, because our wonderful, I'm just going to call him our director. Nikashu texted me, this is impressive how you could talk to yourself for so long. I do this all the time. Like, this is not new. I am very versed because also when you think about it this way, you know how I was saying how the streets are awful, and they are. I don't recommend being single at this time to anybody, but because it's terrible. Part of what you have to do to get the reps in, just like you would go to the gym or go to the batting cages, you got to get reps. And unfortunately, sometimes that requires you talking to yourself. are thinking about how conversations go. I have a list of hypothetical questions to ask on dates in my phone. And generally, I mean, I'm still single, so I guess it can't work that well, but I chalk that up to my personality and my faults as a person more so than the prompts. You got to be able to sometimes carry a conversation. And trust me, I've been on many dates where I have had to carry the conversation. I was on a date last summer where this girl goes, what did she say? I want to make sure I got this right. I asked her like what her favorite vacation had ever been. And she goes, oh, when me and my family went on a trip to Alaska once, silence. Ended the sentence. Did not elaborate. And I was like, what? Like, hello, welcome to a conversation. Continue speaking, please. Got nothing. What are some of the hypothetical questions, which I'm going to lean forward and put on the screen for a second for everybody in case you want to see what that is. Please catch this. Pop fly into foul territory. Beautiful. Okay, get out of the inning. My favorite one is if you came home from work or the grocery store or errands, whatever. You've been gone for hours. Let's call it more than 3 hours you've been gone. You come home. How many pigeons would have to be in your living room for you to suspect that someone had put them there? Now, I have a very clear answer because I've thought about this a lot and I have crowdsourced this a lot. I had somebody say 99 one time. A friend said she would have to find 99 pigeons in her living room for her to suspect that somebody had put them there. Insane answer. However, one is also an insane answer. Oh, one pigeon. Grow up, first of all. What do you mean you would come home and one pigeon would be in there and you think somebody put this here? Oh, well, I never opened my windows. Okay, there's multiple points of entry into a home. You heard of a vent? Yeah, get out of it. Let's go. Whew. All right, Flora gets out of danger. No run score for Southern Miss. We go to the top of the 7th. And we're just going to keep going because now I'm down this pigeon. Once we end the thread on this whole pigeon thing, maybe that's what we'll call it. But one pigeon. What do you be an adult? Vents, windows, chimneys, delivery people. Sometimes things happen. One is not a real answer. 2, I'm willing to accept, but I won't be happy about it. What I'm preferring to hear when I ask this question about how many pigeons would it take for you to find them in your living room, for you to say somebody put these here, is anything more than 2. But also don't try to placate me by saying some insane number like 99. Shut up. Like anything between 2 and 10 is an ideal answer. My answer, of course, is 4 because 1 is a coincidence. 2, they're friends. 3 is suspicious, but not suspicious enough for me to think somebody put them there. 4, somebody put them there. Because 4 pigeons to wrangle, like you have to wrangle 4 pigeons and get them into a single space. 3, it's plausible. And it's insane how much pushback I get on this topic. I've gotten years of mileage out of this question. And it's always a crowd pleaser. So, we'll see how this goes. Southern Miss is challenging the ruling. And we are about to get a call. The ruling is out at first base. And he's out. Okay. And the inning ends. It is the bottom of the 6th. UCSB is up 3-0. That's going to be where we call it, everybody. We don't have to see the bullpens. I feel good about where we're at. 3 more innings. And honestly, I've run out of talking points. Let's be honest. I used the pigeon question already. It's only the first show. However, I do have more. And maybe, you know what? Emma and Kate and Nick, we're going to put up a poll for the people and see what they want to hear from the list next time. Let's see. What would be the best one to go with? Let me find the note because I have to scroll forward a little bit. Oh, this is a good one. If we lived in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs universe, what would you want it to rain, tornado, and snow? That's not bad. Nope, that's a list of restaurants that I need to try. What are the other ones? Do you think your friends would lie for you if you called them out of nowhere? Like if I were to call a friend and say, let's say I'm talking to a young lady at the bar and I call a friend who's not at the bar and I say, hey, isn't it true that I was a state diver in high school? Do you think your friends would lie for you? I think some of them would, for me, but not all of them. You would have to pick your battles very carefully with that one. If everyone in the world stopped sneezing, how long would it take you to notice? How many medieval chefs do you think were executed because the king's food taster had an allergy? That's a fun one that I always like. This is also a fun one. They're all fun. Who am I kidding? Who are you as an athlete? Like, for example, what is your position? Don't say, oh, I'm the Michael Jordan of my friend group. Shut up. Like, for me, I like to think that I'm a high leverage closer, like a Ryan Helsley. Can be erratic, but when I'm nails, buddy, I'm nails. But also you might get 99 at the tower. It's hard to say. If given 4 years to train for an Olympic sport, which one do you think you could medal in? What's the favorite thing you've stolen from a store? That's a really good one for women in bars because more often than not, women be shoplifting. It's kind of crazy. And I say that as somebody with 2 younger sisters. Women be shoplifting, which I mean, like, good for you. I think that's it. I think that's all of them. Oh, what was the last thing you went to the doctor for? That's a fun one. The high risk, high reward, though, on that one. So, all right. Well, I'm going to toss my phone over there. Hey, guys, listen, this has been a lot of fun. I've personally had a lot of fun. This has been the show and you. I'm Jake Hasan. This has been Game Day Garage. You should continue to follow Game Day Garage on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube and Twitch, because it's not just going to be me. There's going to be other people here. PJ Glasser will be doing stuff. Rob Brown will be doing stuff. Ryan Horvath will be doing stuff. Michael Jenkins will be doing stuff. There's going to be a ton of other people. Nick Ashu is going to be doing stuff. We are going to be in these streets all summer and into the fall and in perpetuity until the internet ceases to exist. We're going to be here. I'm at the Jake Hasan on Twitter, at Hasan_Jake on Instagram. I think I've plugged everything that I need to. Oh, my Substack, hasanshacks.substack.com. Going to be doing other college baseball and MLB content there as well. Yeah. So that's it. Everyone have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. If you're single, don't forget to text every eligible single person to your phone. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow morning. Okay. Thank you to Rob Brown. Thank you to PJ Glasser. Thank you to you, the viewers. And I don't know if this is going to go in a podcast form, but if it does, thank you to the listeners. Okay. Bye.